Imagine this. The golden boy of college football turned NFL sensation, Travis Hunter, standing in the middle of his Jacksonville mansion, eyes wide, jaw clenched, heart shattered into pieces. Just hours earlier, he was all smiles, posting pictures of family dinners and locker room laughs. But tonight? Taunt. The scene looks like something straight out of a reality TV scandal, and fans everywhere are absolutely losing it. Sources claim Travis walked in on his wife. Yes. The woman he's praised endlessly on Instagram. Caught in what can only be described as a compromising situation with none other than one of his own Jaguars teammates. The betrayal. Unthinkable. The fallout. Nuclear. We're talking raised voices echoing through the halls, accusations flying faster than a game-winning pass, and emotions running higher than any fourth-quarter comeback. Teammates are whispering, fans are demanding answers, and the locker room is said to be split right down the middle. Was this a moment of weakness, a calculated betrayal, or something much deeper? And most importantly, what does this mean for Travis's future on the field, in his marriage, and in the eyes of millions of fans who once saw him as untouchable? Buckle up, because this story is about to get messy. Very messy. The night it all began was supposed to be one of celebration. Travis Hunter had just come home from a solid practice with the Jaguars, feeling confident, strong, and grateful for where life had brought him. He'd been hailed as one of the most promising talents in the league, and off the field, he was known for being a family man, always praising his wife on social media, showing the world what looked like a picture-perfect marriage. But picture-perfect doesn't always mean real. And this night would peel back the curtain on something darker, more shocking, and far more devastating than anyone could have imagined. Travis walked through the front door, the faint glow of candles flickering in the living room. He thought maybe his wife had planned a surprise dinner, maybe even an intimate evening to celebrate the new season. His smile widened as he set down his bag, calling out her name. But what greeted him instead was silence. A silence heavy enough to make his stomach twist. He followed the sound of laughter upstairs, soft at first, but unmistakable. And that's when everything changed. He pushed the bedroom door open, and there it was. His wife tangled up in the sheets, and with her, one of his own teammates from the Jaguars. The betrayal wasn't just personal, it was professional. It was humiliating. It was explosive. The room froze. Every breath sucked out of the air. His wife's face went pale, and the teammate, shirtless, scrambled for words, muttering something about it not being what it looked like. But Travis wasn't buying it. Not what it looks like. Travis shouted, his voice trembling with rage. "You're in my house, in my bed with my wife. What does it look like to you?" The teammate stuttered, unable to form a defense, while his wife tried to reach for Travis, tears streaming down her face. "It was a mistake," she cried. "Please, let me explain." But Travis wasn't listening. Emotions ran high as he stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind him so hard the frame shook. He paced the hallway, fists clenched, his heart pounding like a drum inside his chest. He thought of the sacrifices he had made, the loyalty he had shown, the trust he had built, only to have it shattered in an instant. News of the scandal spread quicker than wildfire. Within hours, whispers from inside the team leaked out. Teammates who had been in group chats that night were already buzzing, some siding with Travis, others too shocked to even comment. By the next morning, fans online had caught wind of the betrayal, and social media exploded. Posts flooded in with hashtags, memes, and outrage. "Travis deserves better," one fan wrote, while another claimed this could ruin the entire locker room dynamic. Back at the mansion, the drama only escalated. Travis's parents rushed over after hearing the news, and the scene was nothing short of chaotic. His mother, distraught, hugged her son tightly, whispering, "You don't deserve this, baby. You gave her everything." His father, however, was furious beyond words, storming through the house, demanding the teammate leave immediately. The teammate eventually slipped out, his face down, knowing he had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. But the damage had already been done. His wife, sobbing uncontrollably, tried to beg Travis for forgiveness. "It didn't mean anything," she pleaded. "I made a mistake, but you're the one I love. A mistake." Travis barked back, his voice cracking under the weight of heartbreak. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is burning dinner. This was betrayal. This was war. The Jaguars management quickly caught wind of the scandal, and suddenly, situation wasn't just about love and betrayal, was about contracts, reputations, and the team's image. The coach called Travis personally, urging him to stay calm, to think carefully about his next move. But how could he stay calm when the very people closest to him had cut him so deeply? Friends of the family also began taking sides. Some defended Travis's wife, saying maybe she had been lonely, maybe she needed attention, while others stood firmly behind Travis, arguing no excuse could ever justify what had happened. Family group chats blew up. Siblings argued with cousins, and the Hunter family name suddenly became a headline in every gossip outlet. The most heartbreaking moment came later that night, when Travis sat alone in his living room, staring at photos on the wall. The wedding picture where he had promised to love and protect her forever. The vacation selfies where they looked inseparable. The snapshots of happy memories that now felt like lies. He whispered to himself, was it all fake? Was I the only one who believed in us? His wife, sitting on the stairs above, heard him and broke down again. "I swear to you, it wasn't about him. It was about me, about my insecurities, my mistakes. Please don't let this destroy us." But Travis didn't respond. He just sat there, the silence heavier than any words could be. The next day, reporters camped outside their home, microphones ready, desperate to get the first statement. Fans gathered on sidewalks, some holding signs in support of Travis, others demanding to know the truth. The drama had spilled far beyond the walls of the Hunter home. It had become a full-blown public spectacle. Inside, Travis and his wife faced off again. This time, the argument was even more intense. "You embarrassed me," Travis said, his voice cold. "You embarrassed this family, and you embarrassed me in front of the whole team." "I know," she whispered, her voice cracking. "But I'm begging you, don't give up on me. Don't give up on us." But forgiveness wasn't so simple. Every time Travis looked at her, he saw the betrayal, the lies, the broken trust. And just when he thought the situation couldn't get any worse, he received a text message from an anonymous number. The message read, "She's not telling you everything. There's more you need to know." Travis froze, his blood running cold. What else could there possibly be? Is this just the tip of the iceberg? The tension built, the suspense grew, and suddenly the scandal had turned from one betrayal into something far deeper, far more twisted than anyone had imagined. And that's exactly where the story took its next shocking turn. Travis stared at the glowing screen of his phone, the anonymous text haunting him like a ghost. "She's not telling you everything. There's more you need to know." His heart pounded in, his chest, his palms sweaty, his mind racing in 1,000 directions. Was it a prank? Was it a teammate trying to stir the pot? Or was this message proof that his wife's betrayal ran deeper than what he had already witnessed? He confronted her immediately, storming into the kitchen where she sat at the counter, her eyes swollen from crying all night. "Who else is there?" he demanded, holding up the phone. "What else aren't you telling me?" She looked up, panic flashing in her eyes. "What do you mean?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "Don't play dumb," Travis shot back, slamming the phone down on the counter. "Someone just texted me saying there's more. It's more lies, more secrets. Is this true? You've been seeing someone else too?" The silence that followed was deafening. She avoided his gaze, fiddling with the edge of her sleeve, her lips quivering as though the words were trapped inside her throat. And then, with tears streaming down her face, she admitted something that shattered Travis all over. Again, it wasn't just him, she whispered. There were a few times with others. I didn't mean for it to happen. I felt neglected. I felt alone, and I made mistakes. I'm sorry, Travis. I'm so sorry. The room spun around him. Betrayal multiplied, like knives stabbing his chest over and over. Others, he repeated, his voice hoarse. Others? Do you even understand what you've done? You didn't just ruin Usu, ruined me, my trust, my sanity. How many who? Her sobs filled the room, but her answers only fueled the fire. To others, she admitted. But it never meant anything. I swear, it wasn't about them. It was about my own issues. I just needed what? Travis roared, slamming his fist onto the counter. Needed to destroy our marriage. Needed to humiliate me in front of the entire league. Needed to make me the laughingstock of my team. The argument grew louder, roar, until even the neighbors could hear. Outside, reporters caught the muffled shouting through the walls, and within minutes, speculation grew online. Fans typed furiously on social media, threads exploding with theories. Some accused his wife of being a serial cheater. Others accused Travis of ignoring her needs. While a few even speculated this could break apart the Jaguars' locker room for good. Inside the home, Travis's parents tried to intervene again. His mother begged him to calm down, her voice soothing but desperate. Don't let this destroy you, son. She's not worth your health. His father, however, was unmoved. Divorce her, he barked. End this now before she drags you down even further. She doesn't deserve another second of your time. But the decision wasn't simple for Travis. His wife wasn't just his partner. She was someone he had built a life with. Someone he once believed in wholeheartedly. And as much as he wanted to hate her, as much as he wanted to cut her out completely, a part of him still clung to the love they once shared. Later that night, the teammate at the center of the initial scandal called Travis, desperate to explain his side. Bro, listen to me, he pleaded. I didn't plan it. She came to me, and I made the wrong choice. I regret it more than anything. Please, don't let this destroy our friendship, our team. Friendship, Travis snapped. You were supposed to be my brother, my teammate. You crossed the one line you should never cross. You think this is about the team. No, this is about my life, and you helped tear it apart. The call ended with Travis slamming his phone down in disgust. His trust in both his marriage and his team obliterated. And then came the twist nobody expected. The anonymous texter revealed themselves the next day was a former close friend of his wife. Someone who had seen the affairs unfold and couldn't stay silent any longer. They sent Travis screenshots, messages, and photos that confirmed everything she had confessed. The evidence was undeniable. Travis's rage turned into a deep, suffocating sadness. He sat alone, scrolling through the proof, each message a dagger in his chest. He remembered every moment he had defended her. Every time he had sworn she was loyal. Every time he had laughed off rumors, and now he realized he had been defending lies. The Jaguars organization stepped in again, this time more firmly. The coach arranged a private meeting, urging Travis to stay focused on football. "This season is starting soon," the coach said. "We need you on the field, locked in. I know this is tough, but don't let it derail your career." But how could he focus when the drama followed him everywhere? Even at practice, whispers echoed around him. Some teammates avoided eye contact, others whispered behind his back. And a few even sided with the teammate who had betrayed him, saying, "It takes two to tango." Travis snapped at practice one afternoon, lashing out during a drill, slamming his helmet to the ground, shouting at anyone who came too close. The media caught wind of the meltdown instantly, painting him as a man, unraveling under the weight of personal chaos. Meanwhile, his wife refused to give up. She begged for counseling, for another chance, for time to prove she could change. "Don't throw away everything we've built," she pleaded, clutching his hand as tears streamed down her face. "We can fix this. I'll do whatever it takes." But Travis's heart was torn in two. Part of him wanted to walk away, to free himself from the lies, to listen to his father's advice. Another part, though, remembered their good times, their bond, their vows. Could he really just throw all of that away? Just when it seemed he might be leaning toward ending things, another shocking revelation hit him like a freight train. A family member pulled him aside and whispered something that made his blood run cold. It wasn't just teammates, Travis. There's someone closer to the family, someone you'd never suspect. He froze, his world spinning yet again. The betrayal wasn't just about his wife and teammates anymore. It was threatening to rip apart his family from the inside. The words echoed in Travis's mind, like a nightmare he couldn't escape. Someone closer to the family. He felt the ground beneath him shift, as though his world had been built on sand, and now everything was collapsing. He demanded answers, pulling his cousin aside, the one who had dropped the bomb. "What do you mean? Who? Tell me right now." The cousin hesitated, clearly torn. "Look, I didn't want to be the one to tell you, but you deserve the truth. It's not just your teammates. She's been involved with your brother." Travis staggered back, his face pale, his chest heaving like he had just taken a brutal hit on the field. His own brother, the person he had grown up with, shared bunk beds with, trusted more than anyone in the world. It seemed impossible, too cruel to be real. "You're lying," Travis whispered, his voice breaking. "You have to be lying." But the cousin shook his head, pulling out screenshots, late-night texts between his wife and his brother. "Wish I was lying," he said softly. "But here it is. Didn't want to believe it myself." The proof was right, their messages dripping with flirtation. Plans to meet up when Travis wasn't around, words that stabbed deeper than any knife. His legs buckled, and he dropped onto the couch, clutching his head in his hands. No, this can't be happening. Not him, anyone but him. He barely had time to process before his brother walked through the door, called there by their mother, who thought he could help calm Travis down. The tension in the room was electric, dangerous, like a storm about to strike. Travis shot up, eyes blazing. "How could you?" he shouted. "How could you do this to me? To us? You're my brother." His brother's face flushed red, guilt written all over him. "I never meant for it to go this far," he stammered. It just happened. I was drunk." She was upset, and one thing led to another. "Don't you dare feed me that excuse," Travis roared, his voice shaking. "The walls. You had a choice. Every step of the way, you had a choice. And you chose betrayal." Their mother burst into tears, begging them to stop. "Please, both of you, we're family. Don't tear each other apart like this." But her words only fueled Travis's rage. "Family," he spat. "Family doesn't sleep with my wife. Family doesn't stab me in the back when I trust them the most." The shouting escalated until neighbors called the police, fearing the confrontation would turn violent. When the officers arrived, Travis stormed out of the house, unable to even look at his brother or his wife. Cameras caught him outside, face twisted with pain and fury as he sped away in his car. Within hours, news outlets had this story. Travis Hunter's marriage scandal deepens family betrayal revealed. The headlines screamed. Fans were stunned, unable to believe the twists and turns this drama had taken. Twitter exploded with shock, anger, and endless memes, while Instagram flooded with comments like, "This is worse than any reality TV show," and praying for Travis, "He doesn't deserve this." The Jaguars organization scrambled to control the narrative, but the story was everywhere. Sports analysts debated whether Travis could even function as a player with so much chaos in his personal life. One commentator put it bluntly, He's a phenomenal talent, but no player can focus when his whole life is in flames. Back at home, the family was fractured. His mother refused to speak to his brother. His father threatened to cut him off completely. And cousins chose sides in heated arguments. Thanksgiving, Christmas, birth sizes, suddenly all those memories of unity were tainted by betrayal. Travis isolated himself, locking himself away from the noise, but the pain was unbearable. Nights were sleepless, filled with replaying every moment. In his head, trying to pinpoint when the lies began. During one sleepless night, his wife slipped into the room, kneeling beside him. "I know I've destroyed everything," she whispered. "I know you may never forgive me. But please believe me when I say, I still love you. It was mistakes, not replacements. You're the only one I want. Please, give me another chance." Travis looked at her, his eyes hollow, his voice barely a whisper. "How can you say you love me when love doesn't do this?" Love doesn't crush someone's soul. Their conversation was interrupted by another blow-their teammate from before went public. In an emotional social media post, he admitted to his involvement, claiming he was coming clean out of guilt. "I betrayed my teammate, my brother, and I'll regret it for the rest of my life," the post read. Fans flooded the comments with rage, many demanding he be kicked off the team. The Jaguars' locker room turned toxic. Some players avoided both Travis and the guilty teammate. Others openly argued about who was in the wrong. Practices became tense, with energy so hostile that coaches feared fights would break out. One source leaked that a near brawl had already taken place, when another player mocked the scandal. And as if that weren't enough, another twist surfaced. Travis discovered through the anonymous friend that his wife had been planning to leave him months earlier, but she had stayed only because of his rising fame and wealth. Old messages revealed her confiding in someone, saying, "I can't leave him now, not when he's about to blow up in the NFL. I'd be stupid to walk away." When Travis read those words, he felt the final crack in his heart. It wasn't just cheating, it was manipulation, lies, and selfishness all along. He confronted her one last time, holding up the screenshots. "So that's what I was to you? A paycheck? A trophy?" She broke down, sobbing uncontrollably. "No, Travis, it wasn't like that. I was scared. I didn't know what I wanted, but I swear I never stopped loving you." But the words rang hollow. Travis's voice trembled as he said, "You've destroyed me. I don't even know who I am anymore because of you." By now, fans were demanding Travis cut ties completely, calling for divorce. Hashtags like #FreeTravis trended for days, with thousands of supporters urging him to move on. Celebrities even chimed in, offering words of encouragement while gossip. Blogs feasted on every detail, and just when it seemed the story couldn't spiral any further, a final, unexpected twist landed like a thunderbolt. His wife announced she was pregnant. The entire room went silent when she dropped the news. "Travis," she whispered, trembling, "I'm pregnant, and it's yours." His head snapped up, his eyes wide. But deep down, a horrifying thought gnawed at him. Was it really his? Or was the child's father one of the men she had confessed to being with? The revelation left Travis reeling, his world crashing down yet again, and fans everywhere holding their breath for what would come next. The air in the room turned suffocating as soon as those words slipped from her lips. "I'm pregnant." For a split second, Travis felt time stop. Every sound muted, every thought froze, and all he could see was her trembling face and the storm of tears in her eyes. The ground had already been ripped from beneath him countless times, but this was a whole new earthquake. His first instinct wasn't joy, wasn't even shock. It was suspicion. He stood there, fists clenched, heart pounding against his ribs like a drum. "Is it mine?" he asked, his voice low, almost a growl. She gasped, covering her mouth. "Of course it's yours," she insisted. "Travis, please. You have to believe me." But trust was long gone. He shook his head slowly, his eyes narrowing. After everything you've admitted the teammates, the others, my own brother, you expect me to take your word for it? No, not this time. Want proof? The silence stretched, heavy and brutal, before she finally whispered, then let's do a test, whatever it takes. The news of the pregnancy leaked almost instantly, another betrayal, as if the walls of their mansion themselves were gossiping, to the world. Reporters swarmed, fans speculated wildly online, and hashtags exploded. Hashtag Hunter Baby, hashtag Team Travis, hashtag Who is the Daddy? It was chaos. Sports talk shows debated the scandal like it was a playoff game, with analysts shouting over one another about whether this would ruin his season, his reputation, or both. Inside, emotions ran higher than ever. Travis's parents were divided. His mother begged him to give his wife a chance, saying a child might heal them, while his father slammed his fist on the table, declaring, "Don't be fooled again, son. She's dragged you through hell. Let her chain you with lies about a baby." His brother, consumed by guilt, tried to apologize again, swearing he had nothing to do with the pregnancy. "You have to believe me on this one thing," he pleaded. But Travis couldn't even look at him. The very sight of his brother setting his blood on fire. The Jaguars' locker room became unbearable. Whispers followed him everywhere. Some teammates avoided him completely, while others muttered cruel jokes under their breath. "He doesn't even know if the kid's his," one laughed, not realizing Travis was standing right behind him. In a flash, Travis snapped, lunging at the player. And it took 3 others to hold him back. The coaches intervened, pulling Travis aside. "You've got to get this under control," they warned. "You're losing yourself, and if you keep this up, you're going to lose your career too." But how could he focus on football when his entire life was a circus? He'd been betrayed by his wife, his brother, his teammates. And now even his future was hanging by the thread of a DNA test. When the day of the test finally arrived, tension filled the clinic like thick smoke. Travis sat in one chair, arms crossed, eyes hard as stone. His wife sat across from him, clutching her stomach, tears slipping silently down her cheeks. The nurses moved carefully, aware they were witnessing a moment that could shatter or rebuild lives. The waiting period for results was agony. Travis locked himself away, avoiding everyone. Social media continued its frenzy, with fans taking sides in heated debates. Some prayed the baby was his, believing it could give him purpose again, while others hoped it wasn't, urging him to cut ties completely and start fresh. And then the results came in. The truth was finally revealed. The baby was his. The news hit Travis like a tidal wave. Relief, mixed with rage, heartbreak, collided with hope. On one hand, the child was his flesh and blood, a piece of him that no betrayal could erase. On the other, it tethered him forever to the woman who had broken him beyond repair. His wife clung to the result as if it were salvation. "See, I told you," she cried. "This baby is ours. We can start over. We can rebuild. Please, Travis, don't give up on us now. But Travis wasn't convinced. He stared at the paper, then at her, his voice shaking. "The baby may be mine, but you lost me a long time ago." The family split even further. His mother begged him to reconcile for the sake of the child, while his father urged him to fight for custody and cut his wife out of the picture entirely. His brother, disgraced and ashamed, left town unable to face the destruction he had caused. The fans were just as divided. Some flooded Travis's Instagram with love, telling him to embrace fatherhood and heal, while others demanded he divorce immediately, saying forgiveness would only make him look weak. In the weeks that followed, Travis tried to find clarity. He threw himself into training, using the gym as his escape, each rep fueled by rage and pain. But every time he came home, the reality of the situation stared him in the face. His wife was still there, growing heavier with the pregnancy, still begging, still hoping. One night, During a quiet moment, she whispered, "I know I've destroyed your trust, but maybe this child can be our fresh start. Maybe we can find our way back." Travis looked at her, his eyes heavy with exhaustion, his voice hollow. "I'll always be there for my child. But as for us, I don't know if I can ever look at you and not see betrayal." And that became the tragic truth. The marriage was fractured beyond repair, yet bound together by the arrival of a new life. The fans were left stunned, the family was torn apart, and the team was on edge. The story didn't end neatly. There were no perfect resolutions, no fairy tale reconciliations. Instead, it left everyone asking the same questions. Would Travis find the strength to forgive? Would the team ever recover from the scandal? And most importantly, what kind of father would he become in the middle of so much chaos? As the dust settled, one thing was certain: the drama had cemented itself as one of the most shocking sagas in sports history. A story fans and critics alike would talk about for years, and that right there is where the story stands. A marriage shattered, a family divided, a locker room in chaos, and a future hanging in the balance. Travis Hunter, once celebrated as the rising star with a picture-perfect life, is now living in the center of a storm that no one could have imagined. Fans are still in shock. The Jaguars organization is scrambling to keep focus on the field. And his personal life has become a headline that refuses to fade. What makes this even more gripping is how unresolved it all feels. Will Travis choose forgiveness and try to rebuild with his wife for the sake of their child? Or will he take the harder road, walk away completely, and start fresh, no matter how painful that might be? And let's not forget the Jaguars can. A team really thrives when so much drama is bubbling behind the scenes. Emotions are high, alliances are fractured, and the fallout is far from over. But now, it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think Travis should do? Should he give his wife a second chance, or is betrayal something that can never truly be forgiven? How do you think this will impact his career and his role as a father? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear every angle, every opinion, every wild theory you've got, and if you've been hooked by this roller coaster of betrayal, heartbreak, and shocking twists. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next explosive update. Trust us, this story is far from finished, and you'll want to be here when the next chapter unfolds. Your voice matters, and we're all in this drama together. So comment below, hit subscribe, and stay tuned. The saga of Travis Hunter is only getting messier.